ஆழ்வார் திருடிகளே சரணம், எம்பெருமானார் திருடிகளே சரணம், பிள்ளைலோக்காச்சாரிய திருடிகளே சரணம், விளாஞ்சோலை பிள்ளை திருடிகளே சரணம், ஜீயர் திருடிகளே சரணம், ஜீயர் திருடிகளே சரணம். ஸ்ரீசைலேஷ தயாபாத்திரம் தீபக்தியாதி குணாண்டமம் யதீந்திர பிரவணம் வந்தே ரம்ய ஜாமாத்தரம் முனி ரம்ய ஜாமாத்திர யோகீந்திர பாதரேகாமயம் சதா ததா யத்தாத்ம சத்தாதிம் ராமானுஜ முனிம் பஜே லக்ஷ்மீநாத சமாரம்பாம் நாथे ஆமுன மத்தியமாம் அஸ்மத் ஆச்சாரிய பரியந்தாம் வந்தே குரு பரம்பராம் यो नित्यमच्युत पदाम्बुजै युग्मरुक्म व्यामोहतस्तदितराणि तृणायमे अस्मद्गुरोर्भगवतोऽस्य दैकसिन्धोः रामानुजस्य चरणौ शरणं प्रपद्ये मातापिता युवतयस्तनया विभूतिः सर्वं यदेव नियमेन मदन्वयानाम् आद्यस्य न कुलपतेर्वकुलाभिरामं श्रीमत्तदङ्ग्रीगुडं प्रणमामि मूर्ध्ना भूतं जरश्च महताह्वय भटनाथ श्रीभक्तिसारकुलशेखर योगिवाहान् भक्ताङ्ग्रेण प्रकालेतीन्द्रमिश्रान् श्रीमत्पराङ्कुशमुनिं प्रणतोऽस्मि नित्यम्. We have been enjoying saptha kAdhai for the last little while, for the couple of sessions. We have seen the introduction about the Grantham a little bit. Then we continued on with the Taniyan, Vali Nalantigal, Narana Tadhanarul, Vali Avan, Amuda Vaimodigal, Valiyave Yeru Thirudayan, Endai Ulahariyan Sur, Theru Thirudayan Seer. That is the Taniyan for this prabandham as well as viLAnjOlaip. And after that, we started enjoying the avathArikA, the preface for this wonderful Grantham. We've gone through almost 50% of the avathArikA. Here in the avathArikA, viLAnjOlaip's greatness is primarily shown. That viLAnjOlaip is like the life of piLLai. He is like the shoulder of piLLai. He is like the heart of piLLai. He is like the eyes of piLLai. So piLLai had viLAnjOlaip as a very, very dear disciple, and viLAnjOlaip was totally surrendered to piLLai and was constantly engaged in studying all the sampradaya principles and essence of rahasyatrayam, and most importantly the SrIvachana Bhushan Divya which was directly learnt from lOkAchArya by viLAnjOlaip. Towards the end of lOkAchArya's life in this world, he orders viLAnjOlaip to go to Thiruvananthapuram, which is in Kerala, and remain there serving the Anantashayana Bhagavan. And following his Acharya's order, viLAnjOlaip goes to Thiruvananthapuram. He remains in the outskirts on certain orchards and gardens which are present there, and he is constantly meditating upon piLLai. Even though Acharya says you go and serve Thiruvananthapuram Bhagavan, he is in Charma Parvanishta, that is in the ultimate stage of total dependence on Acharya. There is Prathama Parvanishta, which is initial stage, which is total devotion towards Bhagavan. And then ultimate stage is total devotion towards Acharya. And he is in that stage. So, even though his Acharya instructed to meditate upon Bhagavan and serve Bhagavan, he was constantly engaged in meditating upon piLLai only. He would sit in the garden and he would go into meditation, and he will be in trance for 1 week, 10 days. He wouldn't know if insects, mosquitoes, they all remain on his body, divine form. If ant hill forms on his divine form, he wouldn't really know about all of that. And once his meditation is done, he will wake up, and then he will be doing some kainkariam, and then he will again go to meditation. That is how he was constantly enjoying piLLai divine form. And this piLLai Goshti is also a target of his meditation. He would always meditate upon how piLLai would have great disciples sat around him, and they would all be listening to his divine words, his divine instructions. And this Goshti of piLLai is compared to Nambillai's Goshti. Nambillai is Thiru Kaligandridasa, Kaliveri Swami. His Goshti is glorified greatly in our Sampradayam, and it is compared to Nambermal's Purapadu procession. When Nambermal's Purapadu happens, even now we see that there will be 500 people, 600 people easily following him. There will be Adhyapakas reciting Pasurams, Veda Parayana Adhyapakas, and then Archakas, then Paricharakas, and then there is Andal Goshti, and then there is other people who are doing Kaikariam in temples, like the person who is maintaining the elephant, and then that elephant will be there, horse will be there, horse person who takes care of the horse, he will be there, and there will be people who are holding onto the torches, fire torches, people who are playing musical instruments, vadhyam. If you look at all of this, easily 500 people will be there for Nambermal's Purapadu. Nowadays, in past we can imagine, they don't have any other thing to do. When there is Nambermal Purapadu, everybody will come. So thousands of people will be here. So similar Goshti will be seen in Nambillai's Kalakshepam. So, and also his Kalakshepa Goshti is decorated with many, many great scholars. Many of his great disciples. They were all wonderful scholars. So lOkAchArya's Goshti is like a replica of Nambillai's Goshti. And viLAnjOlaip Pillai will always be enjoying the vision of that Goshti, how lOkAchArya would explain things beautifully to his disciples. And in this manner, when he is enjoying lOkAchArya always in his mind, for him, there was no difference between samsara and Paramapadam. He would feel like he is in Paramapadam only, because he is always thinking about Acharya, and he is always thinking about his qualities, his form, his instructions, his Goshti. When we think about all of those, we wouldn't even feel that we are in this samsara. Because Vaikuntamagum Tammureldam, says Alvar. Wherever there is a great Bhagavata, that person's town itself will become like Vaikuntam. If there is a great devotee of Bhagavan who is always immersed in Bhagavad Vishayam, always engaged in Kaikariyams, always engaged in Gunanubhavam, for that person, this place will be like Vaikuntam, because Bhagavan will manifest himself there. His disciples, his devotees, Nityasuris, they will all come and see such Bhagavata. They will all be wondering. We are in Paramapadam where there is no obstacles, there is no hurdles in enjoying Bhagavan. We are fully enjoying Bhagavan. That is natural. But here in samsara, where there are so many obstacles, every step we have trouble. There are these Bhagavatas who are constantly engaging in Bhagavad Vishayam, constantly enjoying Bhagavan. So they are really greater than us, because it is like a person who is born in a very wealthy family, has all the wealth, has all the equipments, all the facilities. He is, let's say, scoring high marks, doing well in studies. It's normal. But if a person doesn't have any facilities, always turmoil at his home because of lack of money and problems in family and so many difficulties, if such person is scoring high marks, that is greater than somebody like this scoring. So here, similar to that, in samsara there is always opportunity only to go down in samsara. There is no way to go up, because if we take 2 steps forward, we will be pulled 5 steps backward. That is how samsara is. Prakriti is so strong. We saw in Thiruvirtham today also that Allal Seri. Allal Seri means that which is like a quagmire, which pulls people who steps on it. It's like a sand hole basically. It's filled with sand, but it is a deep hole. Once one steps into it, one will be pulled in completely. So in this samsara, if a person is engaging in Bhagavad Vishayam constantly, he will be considered much greater than Nityasuris themselves. And that is how he was. viLAnjOlaip was like that only. So we've seen up to that, and we'll continue on with the introduction section. Because this Grantham, this saptha prabandham, is only 7 pasurams. Sapta kAdhai means Gata. Gata is said in Tamil as kAdhai. Sapta means 7. So 7 songs in 7 pasurams, the whole essence of SrIvachana bhUshaNam is presented for us. And the importance of that too in SrIvachana bhUshaNam, the essence of the Charama Prakaranam. That is the last section which talks about Acharya being the Upayam, Acharya being the Upayam. That section's essence is these 7 pasurams. And in this 7 pasurams, we have everything we have to know. Whatever we have to know in our Sampradayam, everything is given in these 7 pasurams. But these 7 pasurams are very easy, very simple Tamil, very easy to read and memorize also. So in this 7 pasurams, the SrIvachana bhUshaNa Divya Shastram's whole essence is placed. That is how important this Grantham is. If we understand this Grantham, then that means we are understanding the essence of SrIvachana bhUshaNam. We will have a good idea about what SrIvachana bhUshaNam is talking about. So initially I thought of explaining it briefly, but then as I started explaining the avathArikA itself, I felt that it will be useful if we went through in a little bit detailed manner this Grantham, so that in 10-15 sessions maximum, we can understand the gist of SrIvachana bhUshaNam. Even if somebody is not able to go through some 80-100 lectures of SrIvachana bhUshaNam, at least if they go through this 8 or 10 sessions, how many ever we are going to have, or even less probably, they will get a good gist of SrIvachana bhUshaNam. So that is why we started going through in a little bit detailed manner. So viLAnjOlaip, with the great mercy, he desired in his divine heart to explain the distinguished meanings of SrIvachana bhUshaNam in his prabandham here. He wanted to compose a prabandham where he can explain the deep meanings of SrIvachana bhUshaNam. Because SrIvachana bhUshaNam is a huge Shastram, Divya Shastram. It is said to be SrIvachana bhUshaNa Divya Shastram. It's a pretty big treatise, and there are commentaries for it. Manavada Mamnigal has written a beautiful commentary. Recently, a commentary from Thiruvaimozhi piLLai, Sri Shailesha, who is the Acharya of Manavada Mamnigal. He has written a commentary for SrIvachana bhUshaNam, which is a very beautiful commentary also. That was released a few years ago. So there are few commentaries for SrIvachana bhUshaNam, and Manavada Mamnigal's commentary is very elaborate. If you have to study SrIvachana bhUshaNam along with Manavada Mamnigal's commentary, without which it is very difficult to understand also. Without the commentary, it's very difficult to understand the Mula Grantham. So it will take some time to study thoroughly. So this will give a good introduction. So he wanted to give that gist to us so that we can understand the essence of SrIvachana bhUshaNam. So, and this SrIvachana bhUshaNam, that is the essence of Thiruvaimozhi. So Thiruvaimozhi has got everything we need to know in our Sampradayam, and that essence of Thiruvaimozhi is given in SrIvachana bhUshaNam. And that essence was elaborated by Manavada Mamnigal in his commentary, and subsequently, not subsequently actually, during lOkAchArya's disciple viLAnjOlaip's time, he composed this 7 pasurams, which are the gist of SrIvachana bhUshaNam. So we have Thiruvaimozhi, the gist of that is SrIvachana bhUshaNam, the gist of that is saptha kAdhai by viLAnjOlaip. And just as Charma Shlokam is the important part in Sri Bhagavad Gita. We have Sri Gita. In that, the most important shlokam is Sarva Dharman Paritejya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. Aham tva sarva papebhyo mokshayishyam mashuchaha. That is the most important section or shlokam in the whole of Sri Bhagavad Gita. Similarly, in the SrIvachana bhUshaNa Divya Shastram, the final prakaranam, which talks about how Acharya is our means and how Acharya is our goal. That particular aspect is the most important section. So here in viLAnjOlaip's saptha kAdhai, he is focusing on that section more. Throughout the 7 pasurams, we will see that underlying theme. But still, different sections of SrIvachana bhUshaNam will be explained in different pasurams. But the overall theme is Acharya Bhakti, Acharya's mercy is the really key factor in our progress. So that is the Charama Prakaranam, that is the last section of SrIvachana bhUshaNam, and that is given in a very brief manner in this prabandham. So here the question arises, how did he do that? How has he done it? So that is explained in the next section. In the commentary, this commentary is given by piLLai lOkAchArya. piLLai lOkAchArya was an Acharya who was from subsequent times. After Manavar Mamnigal's times, he appears and he has done a lot of wonderful granthams, like commentaries for Upadesha Ratnamalai, commentary for Thiruvaimozhi Nutrandadi, commentary for Arti Prabandham. These are all written by piLLai lOkAchArya. So he is the one who has also composed beautiful commentary for this saptha kAdhai. So here he is answering how SrIvachana bhUshaNam's essence is present in saptha kAdhai. So here this is somewhat technical. That is, we have to know the sutrams of SrIvachana bhUshaNam to understand it fully, but we will get a good idea. In the SrIvachana bhUshaNam, from the first sutram, Vedhartham Ardiduvadu, up to 22nd sutram, that is Prapati Upadesham Pannitrum Ivalukkaga. In these sutrams, the Purushakara aspect, that is Pirati being the recommendation person, that is elaborated in these first set of sutrams. So here, in the first pasuram, Ambon Arangarkum Avikum, in that pasuram, that Purushakara Vaibhavam is shown. But there, Tayar's name is directly not mentioned. Ambon Arangar is only shown. Ambon Arangar means Sri Ranganatha here, which is the meaning for Akara in Pranavam. But whenever we say Bhagavan, that includes Tayar also. Even in Akaram, in the Pranavam there is Akaram. Akara, Ukaram, Akara is there. No? That Akaram automatically includes Sri Mahalakshmi, because she is never separated. And for that, in Mokshapadi we have seen, just like Sri Mahalakshmi doesn't separate from Bhagavan's divine form, even from his name she doesn't separate. So, in that Ambon Arangarkum itself, Pirati is there. Purushakara Vaibhavam is explained, says piLLai lOkAchArya. And here, the Pramanam is also shown from Lakshmi Tantram, Ahanta Brahmanastasya. That is, Pirati is nothing but the consciousness of Bhagavan. Consciousness is the realization that he is this person. And that identity comes from being the consort of Sri Mahalakshmi. So, his identity is Sri Mahalakshmi. Whenever we say Narayana, it is Sriman Narayana only. So, that identity. So, in that Bhagavan itself, his identity is there. That means Pirati is there. So, first Pasuram explains about the Purushakara aspect. And then from Prapatik 23rd Sutram till 79th Sutram, which is Ekanti Vyapadeshtavyaha, there the Upaya aspect, that is Bhagavan being the Upayam. That is what we saw today also. That Bhagavan is the only Upayam who will um, deliver us. No other Upayams are valid for Prapanna, for anyone in fact. If anyone wants to get clear remedy from samsara, whether it is devatas, whether it is nityasuris, whether it is humans, animals, birds, whoever it may be. If one has the desire to be liberated from samsara, one has to hold on to Bhagavan only. So, that Bhagavan being the Upayam, that is shown in the Pasurams, Anju Porulum, and then Partha Guruvin Alavil, Thannai Irayai. In these Pasurams, we are going to see subsequently, in these Pasurams, Bhagavan being the Upayam is clearly shown. Next, sorry, that is not there. Umbar Divamennum Valvukku Chernda Neri. So, that is Bhagavan being the path is shown in Umbar Divamennum Valvukku Chernda Neri. That is in the first Pasuram itself. Neri means path. So, the path to reach Bhagavan is Bhagavan only. So, that is shown in that first Pasuram itself. So, that is second Prakaranam. The second Prakaranam of Upaya Vaibhavam, that is shown in the first Pasuram itself. And then next set of Pasurams speak about the Upeya Virodhi, that is Adhikari Nishta Prakaranam. The situation of a Adhikari, that is a person who is surrendered to Bhagavan. What should be the situation? What should be the nature? What should be the conduct? All of these are explained in the third section, which is starting from 80th Sutram, Upayatthukku, up to 307th Sutram, which is Upeya Virodhigalumai Irukkum. So in these Sutrams, Adhikari Nishta, that is how an Adhikari will be conducting himself. Adhikari here means a qualified person to do Sharanagati, to approach Bhagavan, to reach Bhagavan. What will that person be doing and how he will be conducting himself? That is all shown in Anju Porulum Pasuram, and then Partha Guruvin Alavil Pasuram, Thannai Irayai. So again, these relate to the Jivatma Swarupam. The Jivatma Swarupam is shown in these Pasurams. And then starting from 308th Sutram, Tan Hitopadesham Pannumbodhu, up to 365th Sutram, Ugappum Upakara Smritiyam Nadakavenum. Up to these, Acharya Anuvartana Prakaranam, that is the fourth Prakaranam. That is how to serve Acharya. That has to be understood clearly, and that is shown in these Sutrams. And that is shown in the Yenpakkal Odinar, Innar Enemy Album. In that Pasuram, all of these aspects are shown. And then from 366th Sutram, Swadosha Anusandhanam Bhayahetu, up to 406th Sutram, that is Nivartaka Jnanam Abhayahetu. Here, Bhagavan's Nirhetika Kripa, that is shown in the Nirhetika Kripa Prabhava Prakaranam. That is the next Prakaranam, that is the next section. And that concept is shown in the Pasuram, Adikendru Ivai Arindhen. In that Pasuram, Bhagavan's Nirhetika Kripa, unconditional grace, that is shown in that Pasuram. And then final Prakaranam, that is 407th Sutram till 463rd Sutram. That is Swatantrane Upayamaga Tan Pattana Bodhire, E Prasangandan Ulladu. Starting from that up to Anantaram Palapariyantam Akum. That is the final Sutram. Up to that, the final Prakaranam, that is Acharya Vaibhavam. Acharya is Upaya and Acharya is Upeya. That is briefly shown in all the 7 Pasurams. That Acharya is the Upaya and Upeya. That is the underlying theme which is present in every Pasuram, which we are going to see how it is there. So, in these 7 Pasurams, the essence of SrIvachana bhUshaNam is explained. Says piLLai here with these, it is like data. Basically, we are given exact reference from which Sutram to which Sutram, what topic is covered there and how that topic is explained in the pasurams here. So that is all explained. In this manner, viLAnjOlaip Pillai explains the important aspects of SrIvachana bhUshaNam through both positive explanation and negation. That is, he will say that Bhagavan is the only refuge for us. And then he will also say nobody else is refuge for us. Both affirmative and negative way of expressing the concept is done, which is adding value. Basically, when both affirmative and negative way of explanation is there, that means the principle is clearly delivered. So if somebody says that we should come in the morning for Vishwarupam by 5:30 to 6:30, and then also the same person says if you come after 6:30 you will not be allowed inside. So both affirmation and negation is there. Then it is very clear. If the person just says 5:30 to 6:30 Vishwarupam, then this person will come just about 2 minutes later, 6:32, 6:35, and he will say, you told 6:30, but I thought few minutes here and there late will be allowed. But if the negative information was also given, then this person would not come late. So clear idea, clear communication is there by viLAnjOlaip Pillai is the point shown by piLLai here. And after that, piLLai does a beautiful comparison in Prathama Parva Nishtai, that is total devotion towards Bhagavan. There is one prabandham which has 7 pasurams. Similarly, in Charma Parva Nishtai, that is total dependence on Acharya, there is one prabandham with 7 pasurams. That is this prabandham, saptha kAdhai, which is in Charma Parva Nishtai, in Acharya Nishta. In Prathama Parva Nishtai, in Bhagavan's matter, there is Tiruvasiriyam by Nammalvar. Tiruvasiriyam is the second prabandham. It has 7 pasurams. Tiruvasiriyam has 7 pasurams. So here, piLLai is comparing both of those. So just as Nammalvar mercifully composed 7 pasurams to establish supremacy of Bhagavan, here viLAnjOlaip Pillai too is mercifully explaining in 7 pasurams the Charma Parva, that is Acharya being the ultimate means and ultimate goal. So that is the comparison, equality in both these prabandhams. But there is a lot of difference also between these prabandhams. What are those differences? That is elaborated here. See, in Tiruvasiriyam, we see that it is composed in Asiriyappa. See, in Tamil there are different poetic meters, poetic rules and all that. In that, Asiriyappa is the poetic rule which is considered for composing Tiruvasiriyam. Now that also we have to understand that Alvar did not sit and decide, I am going to write this prabandham in Asiriyappa. In Tiruvaimozhi, I am going to sing it in Andadi form. That is, last word of one pasuram will be connecting to the next pasuram in the beginning. So it is not that he is making any vow or any sankalpam, saying this is how I am going to do. He is just open to Bhagavan's instructions from within. Bhagavan is making this happen. So in this case, this Tiruvasiriyam is composed in Asiriyappa. Still, it is not Alvar intentionally decided and composed. It's just natural outflow based on experiencing Bhagavan. It happened to be Asiriyappa. Now, Asiriyappa doesn't have strict rules, like only this many lines should be there. So it's a little bit easy to write. If one person is able to have good understanding about Tamil grammar, he can easily write pasurams in poem in Asiriyappa. And this prabandham, Tiruvasiriyam, it talks about Prathama Parvam, that is Bhagavan being the goal. But that Prathama Parvam, Bhagavan, is also the cause for both bondage and liberation. Bandham and moksham both is caused by Bhagavan. If one person is always moving away from Bhagavan, that person will be placed in samsara continuously. If a person surrenders to Bhagavan, then that person will be liberated by Bhagavan. So Bhagavan is cause for both bandham and moksham. And then it is said that the there is always a doubt when we approach Bhagavan whether he will accept us or not, whether he will carry us forward until the end. Even though we have many confirmations, even today we saw Varaha Bhagavan. Varaha Bhagavan says, Sthite manasi swaste sharire satyo naraha. There he is saying, Aham smarami madbhaktam nayami paramam gatim. So if a person remembers me and surrenders unto me when he was in good mindset, good health and all that, at the end of his life, even if he is not able to be alert, be able to remember me, at that time I will remember my bhakta and I will carry him forward, says Bhagavan. So even though he gives all of these, in Ramavataram he says, Sakrideva Prapannaya Tavasmiti Achate, Abhayam Sarvabhutebhyo Dadhami Etat Pratamama. He says that I will protect those who surrender unto me once from all beings, from everyone. I will protect them. Whoever wants to trouble them, they will not be able to do. So Bhagavan says that. And then in Charma Shlokam, Gita Charma Shlokam, he says, Sarva Dharman Paritijam Amekam Sharanam Bhaja. Ahanta Sarva Papebhyo Mokshayishyam Maschaha. So he says, I will eliminate all your sins. You don't worry. So even though there are many affirmative statements by Bhagavan that he will protect us, still the fact that he is Swatantra, he is an independently thinking person and he is totally independent, nobody can control him. If he decides to give moksham to somebody who is totally averse to him, then nobody can come up to him and say, oh, why are you giving moksham to him? He has been scolding you all along, now you are giving moksham to him. Nobody can ask, because then he will say, he is my property. I decided to take him to Vaikuntham. I don't want him to be remaining here. It is my choice. You cannot question that. That is what he will say. So because of that swatantriyam, there is always a little bit of fear factor. When we surrender also, maybe we will get the result, maybe we will not get the result. So that suspicion is there, because he has also put us in this samsara. Annalnitanda Akai. That is, you gave this body. So right from the beginning of the Srishti, that is, once the Mahapralaya is there for a long time, Bhagavan decides to do Mahasrishti, because every Atma is in very subtle state that he has no thinking power, he has no action power, so he has lost all of that during Pralaya. Now Bhagavan wants to do creation. He wants to give knowledge, ability to think, ability to act, all of that he wants to grant to these Atmas. So at one time he is giving this body to be in samsara. That samsara may pull us again further down. At the same time, only if we get that body, we can also try for liberation. So both favors are done by him. But if you look at saptha kAdhai, it is talking about Acharya. So it is done in Venba. Venba is another poetic meter. This Venba is difficult to compose, but easy to read and understand. So pasurams will be only 4 lines. It will be very small pasurams. So it will be easy to read and memorize, but to compose it, it's very difficult, because we have to make sure all the rules are met. That these 4 lines should be there. Each line, how many letters, how many words. So all of these rules should be met properly. So first of all, the composer has gone through lot of difficulty for the benefit of the reader. That is the greatness of saptha kAdhai. viLAnjOlaip has taken such effort on himself to do it in the simplest manner for us, compared to Alvar, who has done it based on Bhagavan's orders from within. He has done it in Asiriyappa. So Venba Asiriyappa, that is the difference. And we also saw that the Tiruvasiriyam is in Prathama Parvam. Here saptha kAdhai is in Charma Parvam. And also in the case of Prathama Parvam, we have the doubt whether we will get liberated or not at the end. But in Charma Parvam, there is no such doubt. Na samshayati tad bhakta paricharyartha atamanyam. Says that this is from Shastram. There is some pramanam that serving Bhagavan's devotees will undoubtedly get the desired result. So if we are constantly engaged in Acharya Kankaryam, naturally Bhagavan will be forced to give liberation for us at the end of our body. That is what Jnana Manuttanam Nandagave Udayanana Guru Edanthikkal Manalithi Tenarkamala Tirumamagal Tane Vaikuntham. If we approach an Acharya who has got Jnanam and Anushtanam, if we are under his guidance, then Bhagavan will naturally give us moksham. He has no other choice. He cannot refuse. That is his own divine heart says that only. If my devotee who is very dear, if he is worshipped, if he is served, that person who is worshipping and serving, he will be accepted by me, says Bhagavan. So that is also here. That greatness is also there. In the case of Bhagavan, there is doubt. Here we have no doubt, because that is what Madhurakavi Alvar was always happy. Other 10 Alvars, they will be sometimes happy, sometimes sad. When they have Bhagavan Darshan, they will have great happiness. When Bhagavan leaves them, he goes and puts Alvar in separation, then Alvar starts crying. So there is both sorrow and joy. But we don't see Madhurakavi Alvar crying. He is always happy, because he is at the lotus feet of Nammalvar, always serving, always happy. So that is the confidence we get by being in the Charma Parvanishta. So this saptha kAdhai is wonderfully bringing out that Charma Parvanishta, says piLLai here. And also here, just like Andalnachar is saying, Vettu Chittar Tangal Devarai, Vallabarisu Varivarel, Varuvi Parel Adhikandume. So here, Andalnachar is also Charma Parvanishtai. She is also in Acharya Nishta only. Even though Andalnachar is divine consort of Bhagavan, she is in Acharya Nishta, because she likes Krishna because of Periyalvar. Because Periyalvar says Krishna is the best, she likes. If Periyalvar says Rama is the best, she will like Rama. If Periyalvar says somebody else is best, she will happily follow. So she is also in Acharya Nishtai only. So she is saying, Vittu Chitta Tangal Devarai, Varuvi Parel Adhikandume. If Vishnu Chitta, that is Periyalvar, brings Krishna to me by singing some pasurams, by performing Mangala Shasanam, doing something, if he brings Krishna to me, I will enjoy him. Otherwise, I will not look out for him, says Andalnachar. So that is the Charma Parvanishta, which is shown by viLAnjOlaip in this prabandham. Also, the first Vakyam in our Guru Parampara mantram is Asmat Guru Bhyo Asmat Parama Guru Bhyo That is the Guru Parampara mantram. In that first Vakyam is Asmat Guru Bhyo There are 7 letters in that. Asmat Guru Yo Na Maha. The consonants are only counted. No, vowels are only counted. Consonants are not counted. So only when there is vowel and consonant together, that is only counted. So Asmat Guru Bhyo has 7 letters. That each letter is explained in each pasuram. So this is Acharya Vandanam basically. Asmat Guru Bhyo Namaha, whatever we say, we will be saying the same thing in these 7 pasurams. So the first As, that is explained in Amman Arangarkum. Then second Matu, that Matupu is explained in Anjuporulum Alitavan in the next pasuram. And then third Aksharam Gu, That is explained in Partha Guru. And then Rub, that is the fourth Aksharam, that is explained in Uru Mandiratin, that is the next Pasuram. And then Yo, Yo is explained in Yenpakal Odinar. Whatever that Yo, that meaning has, it is explained in Yenpakal Odinar. And then Na is explained in Ambonaranga. That is first Pasuram and the last Pasuram, and the sixth Pasuram. And then seventh Aksharam, Makaram, that is explained in Seruvare Andamandan. That is, one will ultimately reach Paramapadam in the last Pasuram. So this is a brief connection. lOkAchArya has not gone inside each word, each letter, how it is connected to the Pasuram. That he has not explained, but he has given this clue that each letter relates to each Pasuram in the prabandham. And also, one more point is shown by piLLai. Just as SrIvachana has 24,000 slokams, and that is based on Gayatri Chandas. The meter for SrIvachana is Gayatri. Gayatri is a meter actually, which has 24 letters. So 24 letters is present in Gayatri Chandas, and representing that we have 24,000 slokams in Valmiki Ramayana. Similarly, here the Asmat Gurubhyo Namaha has 7 letters, and those 7 letters are explained in these 7 pasurams. And also finally, the Charma Parva Nishtai, that is being totally surrendered to Acharya, that was shown by 2 personalities most importantly. One is Madhurakavi Alvar. He was totally surrendered to Nammalvar, and he didn't even have any specific separate attachment for Bhagavan. He was only seeing Bhagavan through Acharya only. And then there is Vaduganambi. Vaduganambi was the one who was serving Bhagavad Ramanuja. He would have the Kainkaryam of boiling milk for Bhagavad Ramanuja. One time he is boiling milk inside the Madapalli, in the kitchen, Tirumadapalli. At that time, Nambermal's Purapadu happens, procession happens. Bhagavad Ramanuja has gone outside, and he wants his Sishya, Vaduganambi, to also have darshan. So from outside he shouts, Vaduga, come out. Nambermal has come here to our matam. Outside, there is Purapadu, procession going on. Come out and have darshan of Nambermal, says Bhagavad Ramanuja. For that, Vaduganambi doesn't even come out of the kitchen. He stays there. We have to see. Acharya means we have to come running out and worship him, fall at his feet every time, and then humbly ask, Acharya, what did you say? Like that we should ask. But Vaduganambi is just shouting back from the kitchen itself, saying, I am not coming out. Then Ramanujacharya says, no, you have to come out. Nambermal is there. And then for that, Vaduganambi says from inside, you see your Perumal, my Perumal's Kainkaryam is going on here. I am boiling the milk. If I come out, it will overflow. Because those days, we don't have like option to simmer and then increase the flame. That option is not there. Right. It is there to some extent, but it's not easy. Because firewood will be placed. If we want to take, we have to take 2-3 logs from the stove outside. Then that will reduce the heat. But then, if you take it out, the milk will boil for extra time. Then that will delay Acharya's Kainkaryam for Vaduganambi. He wanted to do it perfectly at the right time, in the right heat also. It's not that you give it very hot, nor you will give it very cool. You boil the milk and then you go and do whatever our tasks are, and then we forget, oh, I had boiled for milk for Acharya. Okay, let's go and give it now. And when you go and touch the milk, it is all cooled down. Then we go and give. That is also not correct. It has to be in that warm stage, which is very pleasing for the throat and mouth. So he was saying, I am boiling with so much dedication, I am not even coming out. You have darshan of your Perumal. I will take care of my Kainkaryam here. That was Vaduganambi's words. And also his actions. He had done Sri Ramanuja Shlokam. Yes, Ramanuja Vaibhavam. That is Ramanujacharya's Charitram in Shlokam format. And he has also given many instructions like this, like saying that I will take care of my Kainkaryam, you do your worship. So these words of Baduganambi are matching his activities. It is not that he is saying one thing, doing something else. He says that you be in Acharya Kainkaryam, but the person doesn't go to Acharya Sannidhi, Alvar Sannidhi, he only goes to Perumal Sannidhi. Then that means he is not following his own words. Here, Vadaganambi was having his speech and his actions and in his mind in harmony. All three are in the same level. So, just like Madhurkavi Alvar was for Nammalvar, just like Vadaganambi was for Bhagavad Ramanuja, how they presented Charma Parvam through their words and their deeds. Similarly, viLAnjOlaip Pillai also is making his intent and mood known to us through his words and his deeds. In his words, he has given saptha kAdhai, which is total surrender to Acharya, total dependence on Acharya. And his action, he was always meditating on viLAnjOlaip Pillai. So his words and actions are completely matching. So that is the greatness of this prabandham, which is composed by such Acharya, viLAnjOlaip Pillai. So that is the introduction, that is avathArikA for this wonderful prabandham. We have to start with the first pasaram. We will do it in the next session. Alvar Tirudikale Sharanam, Embermanar Tirudikale Sharanam, lOkAchArya Tirudikale Sharanam, viLAnjOlaip Pillai Tirudikale Sharanam, GR Tirudikale Sharanam, GR Tirudikale Sharanam. பல்லாண்டு பல்லாண்டு பல்லாயிரத்தாண்டு பல கோடி நூறாயிரம் பல்லாண்டத்தின் தோல்வியும் நாம் சேவடி செய்வதில் காப்படியோ மோடும் நோடும் புரிவன் ஞாயிரம் பல்லாண்டு வடிவாயினின் வளமார்பினில் வாழ்கின்ற மங்கையும் பல்லாண்டு வடிவார் சோதி வளத்துறையும் சுடர் ஆழியும் பல்லாண்டு படைப்போர் புக்கு முழங்கும் அப்பாஞ்ச சன்னியம் பல்லாண்டு.